In the beginning, when I first got this amp, it would not make any sound, and it would blow a fuse when you turned it on, and it would start smoking. And it had a problem that one of the screws had fell into the amp and did quite a bit of damage, a lot more than I initially thought. And one of the first things it did was it just destroyed the current limiter, which is in the beginning of the power supply, and it's what keeps the amp from popping when you hit the on switch. And so I had to order one of those from Peavey because they're pretty hard to come by elsewhere. They're quite expensive otherwise. I think from Peavey it was about $5. Uh, Also, the power transformer had been had a bad winding in it, and so it was putting out low voltage. And so I ordered that. And once I got that and installed that, I still wasn't getting any output from the tubes, any significant output. I was getting a little bit. And after going through the amp, replacing all the caps in it and checking and checking and checking and checking for weeks and weeks and weeks, I finally started measuring the coils of the output transformer, where I found them to be miserably low compared to what they should have been. So I bought another output transformer and put in there, and as soon as I wired it up and turned it on, the volume increased in the amp, but it was still dirty, and it was still low. And those issues dealt with things like bad tube sockets. Tube sockets needed to be retensioned, and a crack in the circuit board. And probably the most difficult thing to find was actually the hairline fractures in the board. It was the last thing I looked for, and it was I'll tell you, I didn't expect to have that problem. So I wasn't really looking for it when I initially started working on the amp. But basically, it had lost ground in several places, and the output transformer's core had been saturated to the point that it started to fuse. So there you have it.